Good afternoon, everybody. Harriet, can you hear me? Let me see. Can anybody else hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Judge, I hear you. I don't believe Ms. Weisenthal is on the session. I believe we're recording this.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. Thank you. All right, so let's begin. We're on the record in the Colorado Public Utilities Commission, proceeding number 24R-0184T. I'm Aviv Segev. Today is June 24th, 2024. It is now 11:30 a.m., 11:31 to be exact. This is a public comment hearing on proposed amendments to the rules regulating telecommunication services and providers of telecommunication services contained in 4 Code of Colorado Regulations 723-2, Rule 2011, and adopt new rules, specifically 2810 through 2812, which I and the participants on this call may refer to as the proposed Inmate Communication Services rules. I'm Administrative Law Judge Aviv Segev, as I've already mentioned. I'm assigned to this matter. I want to thank everybody and welcome everybody that is here and whoever may be joining us to provide a public comment in this matter. I'll go over a few preliminary matters before we start with the public comment phase of this hearing. We are recording this hearing, so bear in mind that both the audio and video feeds of this public comment hearing session are recorded. We do not have a court reporter today, but as you have heard, it is being recorded. The chat function of this Zoom session is not monitored, so it should not be used. Regardless, Zoom session chats do not become a record in this proceeding, even if they are to be used. I would like to ask everyone to please keep your microphones muted until it is your turn to speak. This helps us avoid background noise so that we can maintain a good record in this proceeding. Please be sure to change your name if you haven't already done so on the Zoom screen so that your first and last name are displayed on the screen. This will help me in calling on participants who wish to provide oral comments. To signal that you would like to provide a comment, please use the Zoom's raise a hand feature. To do so, click on the reaction button on the bottom portion of your screen and select raise your hand. If you no longer wish to speak, please lower your hand using the same process. Otherwise, leave your hand raised until I've called on you. If you're having trouble with the raise hand feature, you may instead turn your video on to signal me that you wish to speak. To those participating in this hearing by phone, which I don't believe we have any, but should anybody have an issue and need to use the phone, you will need to dial *9 to use the raise hand feature on Zoom. I will call on you by referring to the last 3 digits of your phone number. When your number is called, you will need to dial *6 to unmute yourself. So again, *9 to raise hand and *6 to unmute. Everybody providing a comment should speak slowly and clearly and enunciate their words as much as possible. Please try to avoid speaking over me, and I will do the best to do the same. It is possible that I may have questions. You may understand where my question is going and may jump in to answer the question before I finish. You may jump in to answer the question before I finish asking the question. And so please try to avoid doing that. That could create an unclear record. If somebody covers specific points that you intended on covering, please feel free to tell me that you agree. And of course, you're welcome to provide any additional comments you have, or tell me with what part or parts of the prior comments you did not agree. I'm not going to place a time limit on comments, as I believe we've set sufficient time for the comments today. I ask that everybody be patient as we go through the comments today. I will make sure that everybody has a chance to speak. So with all of that said, let's please start with the public comment phase of the hearing. As I mentioned, if anybody would like to provide a public comment, kindly use your raise hand feature. Now would be a good time to do so. I do not see any hands raised. Let me just refer to you by the name Ms. Collins, Ms. Angela Collins. Do you by chance have a comment to give today?
No, I don't, Your Honor. I'm only listening. Thank you.
Of course, thank you. And Mr. Michael Lovich, do you have a comment?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. Thank you. Just generally want to turn on video.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm sorry, before you begin, can you please tell us on behalf of whom you're appearing, if it's not on behalf of yourself, and kindly spell your name for the record, though I can see it on the screen, but it would, I think for purposes of the recording, it would be helpful. Thank you.
Sure thing. My name is Michael Lozich. It's spelled L as in Lima, O, Z as in Zulu, I-C-H. I'm the Associate General Counsel for Regulatory Affairs for Securus Technologies. We previously, in part of the proceedings, submitted initial and reply comments. And largely what I would like to do is just reiterate certain general comments from those earlier submissions. We provided, in our previous submissions, we provided detailed section-by-section comments that we hope were helpful, and I don't intend to review them here. First, one of the things that we have strongly recommended is harmonizing these rules with the FCC's regulations for incarcerated people's communication services to the extent practicable. And the reason is for consistency and efficiency. Further, we note that the FCC is currently conducting a rulemaking in this area with an order that's expected this summer. This order is likely to touch on a wide range of issues, which is why we agree that with the recommendation that staying this rulemaking pending the outcome of the FCC rulemaking would be reasonable and prudent. One of the issues the Federal Communications Commission will address in its rulemaking is the question of preemption and the degree to which states will be able to regulate these services within the context of a national regulatory framework for this industry. It's important to note that prior to the Martha Wright Reed Act that was enacted earlier last year, the Federal Communications Commission shared jurisdiction over telephone service with state commissions. But under the Martha Wright Reed Act, the FCC now has explicit national jurisdiction over interstate and intrastate audio and video services. And further in the context of other advanced services, such as email or e-messaging, the FCC has long had a national policy of non-regulation of these services. And so we simply, as mentioned, for purposes of efficiency and consistently, we recommend, to the extent possible, harmonizing with the FCC's rules and perhaps waiting a few weeks or months until we have a better picture of what the FCC's framework is going to look like. Second, as we detailed in our comments, we have strong reservations about the rules expanding the scope of the reporting requirements as set out in the statute. The key concern is that under the statute, the presumption is that information that's reported will be published. The legislature set out in the act that certain telephone-related information regarding rates, revenues, payments, usage, etc., would be reported and published. This information is normally treated within the industry as competitive data maintained as confidential. But we recognize that the legislature can make certain decisions about the administration of contracts within its jurisdiction. However, the concern we have about reporting these requirements within the rules is that this expands the reporting without statutory authority. Providers have a legitimate interest in protecting their competitive and proprietary and trademark information. And as written, the statute addresses telephone services only with regard to these requirements. And so our recommendation is, as we detailed in our comments that we submitted, would be to conform the rules to the specific limit of what was laid out in the statute. Again, I thank you, Your Honor, for giving us the opportunity to provide some additional comments, and please let me know if you have any questions.
I may.
Okay.
But since there do not appear to be any more individuals who would like to submit a public comment, at least as of this moment, why won't we take about a 5-minute recess, come back, and I will then see if there are any additional people who may be a little late, and or whether I may wish to ask you a question or two.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're on recess until, let's make it 11:50. It's a little bit more than 5 minutes. Thank you. Hello, everybody. We're back on the record in proceeding number 24R-0184T. I do not believe we do not have any additional participants on this call, and nobody appears to have his or her hand raised. So let me please go back to you, Mr. Lovich, and ask you one and possibly one follow-up question, if I may.
Sure.
So it is my understanding that the new FCC rules are to be issued sometime between July of 2024, so next month, and January of 2025. Do you have any additional information on the timeline?
Not much, but what we do have kind of points to the order being released sooner rather than later. Specifically, there was an ex parte that was filed in the FCC docket a couple of weeks ago by the Virginia Association of Regional Jails, recounting their discussion with FCC staff, which indicated their expectation that the order would be released sometime earlier in that window. So that has led us to, just internally plan on the idea of the order being released either in the upcoming July open meeting or August open meeting. So that's the assumption that we're operating under. And so that's kind of what we expect, that this order is going to come out sooner in the summer rather than later in the window.
And if, notwithstanding what you just said, if you were to have a crystal ball and you knew that the new FCC rules would be issued in January of 2025, would you still request to hold this rulemaking in abeyance pending the issuance of the new FCC rules?
Well, I didn't contemplate that, but I think so. And I think the reason why is these rules basically codify a program that already exists. The industry, the commission has been collecting regular quarterly reports for, I think, about 2.5 years now. And the specific issues that we have that's been raised, primarily the scope, it seems to me that is an issue that would be good, that really, we can afford to wait a little bit on until we have some more definitive understanding of the FCC's role in this place.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate the answers. Okay. Let's see here. Thank you. For those listening in, I will have a few more comments before we adjourn so that you may know how to submit comments should you wish to submit them. So you may do so in writing or by leaving a voicemail. The Commission does not give any greater weight to oral or written comments, but the Commission prefer written comments because they tend to be more clear and sometimes more persuasive when they are in writing. Written comments should be submitted. There are 4 ways to submit written comments. So the first one is through the Commission's electronic filing systems that can be found on the Commission's website. To be specific, it's at www.dora.state.gov pls/PLS/EFI/EFI.homepage. The second method by which one may submit written comments are through the file a comment or complaint link on the Commission's website, which is at puc.colorado.gov. The third method is you can email us. The email can also be found on the Public Utilities Commission website, puc.colorado.gov. And the fourth method by which you may submit a written comment is by snail mail. The address for the Public Utilities Commission can also be found on the Public Utilities Commission's website, puc.colorado.gov. If you choose to provide a written public comment via any of these methods, or for that matter, if you leave a voicemail, you should mention that your comment refers to this proceeding, which is 24R-08. So I apologize. 24R-0184T. Again, 24R-0184T. If you would like to provide an oral comment, you can call you can leave a voice message at 303-869-3490. Again, 303-869-3490. The comments any comments left on this voice line will be made a part of this, the record in this proceeding. I will, for all practical matters, I will start drafting my recommended decision in this matter shortly. So that gives you additional time to submit a public comment should you wish to do so. Unless I'll just ask one last time if anybody has a comment or a question. Hearing none, this brings the public comment hearing to a close. Again, thank you all for participating and attending. This hearing is adjourned. Thank you.